So let's get into the predicted lineup. I really love going into my predicted lineup fast because then it gives me a lot of time to talk about the game, knowing who I think will start and who I want to start. Watford predominantly play that 4-2-3-1 or that 4-5-1 system, with Joshua King now predominantly being the only striker up front. I don't think that should affect us in any way as we try to select our team, and I'm going to be strongly positive that we keep the team that has been starting for the past 3 or 4 games. So apart from Alexander Lacazette coming in, I don't think they're gonna play a low block. I don't feel like they play a low block. It's not their thing. If we can just a moment, if we can just look at their games. Right? If we can just look at their games right here, this is how they lined up against Southampton in the last game, and they lost at home 1-0. But they had Foster in goal. They had a back four, right? They played a back four and almost played that kind of a midfield four with a support striker in JP following Joshua King. Now, for me, what that really shows is, at the end of the day, they are not a side that is going to play a low block. So I don't expect Mikel Arteta to have a lot of tampering and tinkering with the starting lineup, trying to find how to break a low block. Yes, they might be a little bit defensive, but I don't think they're going to be. I've seen them against Liverpool. They were shit, absolutely, especially defensive-wise. They didn't give them the respect they deserved. And I think Arsenal this season, if you do not give us the respect we deserve, we are gonna destroy you. We are gonna have a laugh, in that game. So let's try to dive into that. Let's try to dive into that. Goalkeeper. Of course, you can let me know of your starting 11, but I'm going to go with Aaron Ramsdale. In goal. No question about that. Aaron Ramsdale, Arsenal goalkeeper. Look, against Leicester City, he's been called up for England, by the way, and of course Southgate. I did expect that, and I think that was a very, very smart move from Southgate. After dropping Ben White and Smith Rowe, I think there's gonna be a lot of pressure now on Southgate. I really don't want to dive into the England stuff, but there's gonna be a lot of pressure on Southgate, who he calls and who he doesn't call. Now you have almost 4 Arsenal players that really are competing for call-ups. You have Ben White, you have Aaron Ramsdale, you have Smith Rowe and Saka. You have around 5 Manchester United players, Rashford, Greenwood, and a couple of others, likes of Harry Maguire. You have the non-negotiables in Harry Maguire and John Stones. It's going to be really hard, but I'm really happy for Ramsdale that he's got the call-up. I mean, just imagine this guy has not tested defeat in an Arsenal jersey. And it's not because Arsenal become good. It's because he's working hard as well as a goalkeeper. Yes, there are a couple of things here and there for him to correct as a young goalkeeper, but he has the passion, right? He feels happy to be playing for Arsenal, and he feels he should be number one. He's definitely our number one. All I'm gonna say is, what a goalkeeper we have in that guy. What a goalkeeper we have in there. He's absolutely brilliant. At centre back, I think that there is no debate now. I mean, we've had the debates before, and we've talked about who should be playing at centre back. And now I think these debates will actually come back if Saliba comes back maybe in the summer. But at the moment, I think it should be Gabriel with Ben White. I think Ben White is unlucky not to get that England call-up. I think he should have got the call-up. Definitely, he's been in fine form. He's been really, really playing well. But I still think Southgate is right. If you have the likes of Maguire and Mings, I think Mings is also really, really developing well at Aston Villa. So I think Ben White will get his time. Definitely, he will get his time. I think he will play predominantly with either Harry Maguire. If he's called up, he will play with Harry Maguire or Tyrone Mings. At the moment, I think Stones, is also there. So it's a little bit tricky, isn't it? It's a little bit tricky, and of course there are a couple of other players like Kano Cody and the others. But I still think Ben White and Gabriel should be expected. They had a very very good game against Jamie Vardy, and I think their job in this game will be to stop Joshua King, who is proving to be a problem when it comes to destroying defenses and scoring hat-tricks. Right, I tried back. Tomiyasu, happy birthday to the lad. Today he made 23 yards. Actually, he's growing fast, isn't he? So 23 yards. Takehiro Tomiyasu. His role in this game is going to be Ismail Sarr. Now, if there are wingers that you've got to be afraid of and you've got to be concerned of in the Premier League, Watford winger Ismail Sarr is one of them. He's been linked with Liverpool. He's been linked with Manchester United. He's had a good season last season. He's had a good season the season before that, and he's also flying this season. I think he's already scored for them around 3 goals this season, and assisted a couple of times. So look, the danger man against the Watford danger man, Joshua King, Ismail Sarr, we've got to be on high alert. But Tomiyasu, I really have no issues. He's handled worse than that. He's handled the likes of Hurricane. He's handled the likes of Son. And now Ismail Sarr should be another task that comes in handy, goes in handy. No problem with that. I don't expect Kian Tierney to feature in this game. He might come back in the Scotland games. I think there will be World Cup qualifiers. So I still think Nuno Tavares is gonna have his his time at left back, trying to just enjoy his time as the senior is away. So that's the back four I do expect, with goalkeeper in goal. If you disagree with me at any point in time, if you feel like you need to rotate any players, let me know in the comments below. But I think this is the lineup we should be going for, especially at defense. Now, I'm playing a 4-2-3-1. Let's just change formation right about now. Let's play a 4-2-3-1, people. Right? 4-2 is that the 4-2-3-1 I want? I want to get it right. A or B? Okay, yeah, this is the one I want. This is the one I want. So we're playing a 4-2-3-1, and Mikel has been. We will dive into the press conference, but Mikel has been speaking about Albert Sambi Lokonga replacing Xhaka, and he said Lokonga is one player that affects the game positively, confident, and he's one player that is really, really improving a lot and improving the squad. I do not disagree. So having Albert Sambi Lokonga playing deep with Thomas Partey is something that I really do fancy. So Lokonga, where is he? Albert Sambi Lokonga with Thomas Partey. I'm kind of loving this kind of partnership. I said it in the summer that if you bring in a 6 like Albert Sambi Lokonga, I mean, you could put them, whichever way you want, either Partey on the left or Lokonga on the left, whichever you want. But I said it in the summer that if you get a player like Albert Sambi Lokonga, if he clicks, if he becomes a success, Partey is gonna love life, because Partey is currently loving life, and definitely. What Arsenal want is that kind of midfielder that bosses the midfield. It is not Lokonga, it is Thomas Partey. But for Partey to do that, he needs assurance, he needs security, he needs permission. He needs to know at the back of his mind that even if he loses the ball, there is someone who's going to pick it up and return it or make something useful of it. And that is Albert Sambi Lokonga. The same thing goes with Partey. I think he's gaining his momentum, he's gaining his form, he's becoming that kind of player that Arsenal want. I think Lokonga is just doing it for me. He did have a bad game against Crystal Palace. Both of them did, by the way. But after that, Aston Villa had a very, very good game against Aston Villa. And I also think they had a very, very good game against Leicester City, right? Yeah, I know there were moments when Leicester City took over the midfield, Tielemans and Maddison and Soumare, but you can see the quality. Tielemans is, for me, a little slightly one of the the best midfielders now in the league. I think Tielemans and Soumare, if you compare to Tielemans, Soumare, and Maddison, if you compare them to our midfield, they're a little bit slighter, ahead in terms of quality. So I was not really surprised. I was not really, gonna rage if they stole the midfield show. So Sambi Lokonga, Partey, very, very important in this game because, like I said, Watford play with 4 players in the midfield. So that means they have numbers in the midfield. We will have, to be on high alert and at our best game. In the number 10, this is where it becomes funny. Because Lacazette, maybe he's going to leave, right? I'm going to go for Lacazette in the number 10. I don't know how many people will agree with me. So, Lacazette in the number 10. Definitely, because you have Smith Rowe. Let's just put Smith Rowe on the left. And I'm going to show you something. Smith, did I say Smile? It's Smith Rowe. Yeah, so because you have Smith Rowe on the left-hand side of the pitch, who is definitely our number 10, Lacazette automatically becomes a second striker or a support striker. But the beautiful thing with Lacazette is he usually drops, back. He usually comes back, collects that. But he's more like a number 10. And I just feel like Aubameyang is becoming better and better with Lacazette playing in that area. And it also feels like Lacazette is very, very comfortable playing in that area because what it does is, it makes sure that Aubameyang is getting that supply that he wasn't getting all along. And you can see how improved Aubameyang really is, in that area. So Lacazette number 10, Smith Rowe on the left. Pepe is dropped definitely, if anyone wants to know about that. And then Saka, at times I do forget about him. He's become a non-negotiable, hasn't he? He's really become a non-negotiable. And Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, who will soon be replaced with Dusan Vlahovic if he joins in January. It's really going to be interesting to see how Arsenal cope up with Dusan Vlahovic and Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, and I'm really excited about that transfer. I'll try to define the margins later. But look, guys, that's it. It's more of a 4-2-3-1. And it's more of the same lineup that we've been using whole season. So I've not really made big changes to the lineup. You can see it. It's the same lineup that we've been using whole season. It's the same lineup that you guarantee to get your points. At halftime, no changes. But in the 60th minute, I could bring on Martin Odegaard for Lacazette. In the 70th minute, we need to bring on Gabriel Martinelli, maybe for Smith Rowe, maybe for Aubameyang. Pepe could come on in the 80th minute as well. I would really have no issues with that. But that is the starting 11. That is my predicted starting 11. If you agree with me, smash that like button and let me know why you agree with me. Do you think I'm just a genius, or you think that's the lineup that should be starting for Arsenal every game, match day in, match day out? Now we're gonna move on, and the next step is going to be looking at Mikel Arteta's press conference. After that, we'll look at the opposition preview, Watford as a team, how have they been performing, what to expect from them, and things like that. And at the end of the video, I will look at Arsenal and how we are supposed to beat Watford. It will be much of our team news and preview and things like that. So make sure you stick around to the end of the video. It's gonna be like 1 hour, so make sure you do stick around. If you do not have data, make sure you do load enough data. Right? Should we just move on to Mikel Arteta's press conference? Do you think, guys, should we move on to Mikel Arteta's press conference? That is the predicted lineup. If anyone wants to revisit it, it's Ramsdale, Tavares, Gabriel, White, Tomiyasu, Sambi Lokonga, Partey, Lacazette, Smith Rowe, Saka, and Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang.